Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. And now phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. Our guest on the show this morning is Comrade Obande, and he is the president of Ochetoha Kidoma Youth Wing. It's great to have you on the show again today.
Same here.
Awesome. All right, now quite a number of stories making the rounds, but let's start with the Punch newspaper. We saw where people of Edo, Benin City, where they took to the streets and decided to protest with regards to how what is happening at the moment. And then some people will say, why do you need to protest now? It's still too early to start judging the current administration. And seeing so many the inscriptions they have on their placards, and some say no to continuous hike in fuel price, federal government allow the poor to breathe, fuel price is choking us, kill corruption, not Nigerians. Others say poor Nigerians lives matters, and others says federal government reversed the fuel price. Quite a number of stories they have right there. And then you just remember President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statement, let the poor Nigerians breathe. So with all that is happening, is it too early or too late to say that all the policies that and programs that he has rolled out, is it time to actually go to the street and say, no, Nigerians are not breathing?
Well, I want to first and foremost start by saluting Nigerians for their patience. I want to thank them for keeping faith with the Nigerian state and believing in a better Nigeria. I have been here on this same show and I told you that it is one thing to make policies. It is another thing to work out the implementation plan of these policies. I salute the confidence and the courage demonstrated by His Excellency President Tinubu to have removed fuel subsidy. I am one of the Nigerians that before he became president, if it was Atiku, if it was Obi, I am one of those Nigerians that would have said fuel subsidy should be removed. The reason is simple. We cannot continue paying for something and we don't even know what we are paying for. I say we don't know what we are paying for because we don't know how many barrels of crude oil we produce. So what are we paying for? And then this money is running into billions of dollars. So what are we talking about? However, I said, and I still reiterate, that the implementation plan after the removal was poor. Okay? When you say you were removing subsidy, what was the plan as a buffer that will support the poor masses when this is finally removed? You said you were removing, and the removal was done immediately. Poor implementation. Good policy, poor implementation. Okay? Removal, yes. Implementation should have been after 90 days, after 120 days, after 5 months, after 6 months, so that within this period, you are done with the subject of appointments. The economy has opened up. You are done with interfacing with the new governors to see where and where they need support to buffer their finances so as to be able to take care of some backlogs of arrears and all of that that were left for them by their predecessors. You have taken care of all of this and then possibly have implemented the new minimum wage, and so the impact of this decision will not be as heavy as it is now. Remember that rising fuel costs affects commodities in the market, affects logistics to places of work and all of that on the same old scale of salaries and payment both in public sector and private sector. So the masses must feel this weight. And so if the masses feel the weight, it's unfair for you to say they shouldn't cry out. Because if they don't cry out, it is assumed that it's okay.
All is well.
But all is not well. That's why they are crying out. My only prayer will be for God to give the set man the wisdom to retrace his implementation plans, rejig the necessary areas so that the pressure on the people can be reduced.
But then with the increase in fuel price, the increase in the dollar to the naira and all, what can be done to rejig again?
As I said, ab initio, when you want to do a rejigger, it must be all encompassing. Why won't the dollar naira rate continue to rise when we have not said anything in the area of opening up our economy and bringing in investors to become a producing economy? As far as I'm concerned, till now that I speak, we are still a consuming economy, and we have not demonstrated will to become a producing economy so far.
Okay, so that's still like a long-term solution. What's the shortest-term solution?
Let me tell you this. There is nothing like shortcuts in governance. It is worse that you don't even know when the forex subject will be taken care of. It is best to even know that a policy has, some implementation of plans have commenced, that in the next 6 to 7 months, we'll begin to have a review in the foreign exchange market, than to run an economy that you are never sure if the foreign exchange market will ever favor the naira. Which is better?
But then you see that the disparity between the dollar and the naira is still growing despite the harmonization of the currencies.
My point. Harmonization of the currencies is hinging on what? You don't build something on nothing and expect it to stand. That has been my point. Before implementation, there are basic things that must be put on the ground. It is these things that will determine the variables when you implement. Harmonization was wonderful, but what was this harmonization going to rest on? Nothing. So it still kept crashing.
All right, so let's pick other stories, and now we'll move straight to the southeastern part of the country, even though it's not on the today's headline. But I'm just wondering, from the Guardian newspaper yesterday, what we saw is 105 Mondays of sit at home. Southeast losses 7.6 trillion naira, productivity, investment to agitation in 2 years. When this all started, we always just thought that it was just one of those things that would phase out and with time. But then 2 years, still counting, 7.6 trillion naira gone down the drain. And then with all of this that is happening, I even heard that even up until yesterday, people could not even go to their offices despite the order by the governors that they must return back to their offices or their businesses, or they'll be taken away from them. So what are your thoughts in this regard? Are we ever going to stop the sit-at-home order?
Why do we like to repeat the same thing and expect a different result? At every time I hear about the Southeast, it reminds me of the Northeast. When the insurgency in the Northeast started, it was like a play. Nobody was ready to apply a non-kinetic approach. I've said it here before, that part of our expectations from the Southeast governors, outside going to go and make declarations that people should go back to work, is for us to see them involved in the process of, one, securing the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which is the prerequisite to restoration of peace, as we have seen.
How much would that even do?
It will do a lot, because most of the declarations from the Biafran, the IPOP people and all, is hinged on the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
But then you've seen how much even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has come out to say that they should stop all this sit at home.
I want to tell you something. There is a difference between political conviction and a movement. What you are seeing in the Southeast, as much as I don't praise it, is a movement. It is beyond one man. Until you see the Southeast question as a movement that is beyond Nnamdi Kanu, you will not understand why you should release Nnamdi Kanu.
So when you say that it is beyond him, are you saying that it has been infiltrated?
It is not that it has been infiltrated. It is about the fact that Nnamdi Kanu started a movement that met the yearnings and desires of a lot of people who keyed in, and you can't tell them to back out because you didn't convince them to key in. They keyed in on conviction.
But then you recall that this movement has started even after the Civil War, where you had God bless his soul,
I want to tell you that this movement had come up in different phases, but it has never been this ideological and radical. You will agree with me. We had Odumegwu Ojukwu, we have Ohazurike with Masob and Co. It has never been this ideological, radical. It has never been. Call a spade a spade. And for every day you allow this to continue, I want to inform the Nigerian state that you are giving room for explosion in more areas. Let me tell you that if we are not careful very soon, these elements will begin to infiltrate other regions that have other sentiments. When it blows to that level, it becomes a national disaster. I am not saying that the movement in the Southeast it should be justified. But I am saying that, can we listen to the undertone of this rhythm? Is there even anything sensible in this agitation? We are only looking at the agitation from the sit-at-home perspective, and that's because, of course, it's getting to government. Oh yes, they took the approach actually because they wanted to get to government. That was why they took that approach. So, what were the demands before the approach? Has anything been done on those demands? No governor should go and endanger the life of any Nigerian. No. They should remember that there is a war crime court, an international criminal court. If they push Nigerians out and Nigerians are murdered, when they leave office, they'll go and face it. They shouldn't jump the gun. They should do the right thing.
What is the right thing?
There are governors from the Southeast where this is happening. They have stakeholders from the Southeast where this is happening. They have political party men of the ruling party from the Southeast where this is happening. I said before, I'm saying again, they should put themselves together and go and sit with the president and have a discussion with him. Meet with Nnamdi Kanu. Have a discussion with him. Let us adopt a non-kinetic approach. Else, we are going to have innocent citizens killed. We are going to sack innocent citizens with this pressure economically. And we are going to worsen the situation of this country.
Now, in all of this, what is the Simon Ekpa from Finland factor in all of this? Where you say someone is in somewhere and then say don't go out for your business, but he's going about his own business.
Is a product of the movement. You never heard the name Simon Ekpa until they held Nnamdi Kanu. That is why I said this movement have never been this ideological and radical. You picked Nnamdi Kanu. Unlike before, you pick Ohazurike, the movement goes. Now, you pick Nnamdi Kanu, And what did we have? An armed movement rose up. ESN, right? The next thing, we start hearing of unknown gunmen, right? The next thing, somebody else, a Simon Ekpa, declares and said, it is me. And nobody opposed it. It tells you that the movement, this movement called IPOB, has an ideological base. And have people who have committed their lives to it and will not go back. So killing Nnamdi Kanu today, if you kill him, the movement will not stop. So why hold him? If releasing him can create a bridge for discussion. That's a reality. Look at their demands. Are they genuine ones? Have a discussion. Let's compromise from both ends and bring this issue to a stop. Nigerians have forgotten that after the Civil War, the Southeasterners we are talking about today started their life with less than 50 pounds. I'm not a Southeasterner, but I make bold to state that the economy of the Southeast today and the people that have risen economically from the Southeast today, we don't have them from any part of this country.
Oh, really?
They don't enjoy the kind of patronage from government that people from other geopolitical zones in business enjoy. Yet, look at how they thrive. A Southeasterner will come to the backyard of your house, start with a table, grow from a table to a kiosk, from a kiosk to a supermarket, right before your eye. You should fear those kind of people. You should know that you stand to lose. They don't stand anything to lose. They have lost before and risen. So what do you think they are scared of again? And you are talking of a generation of people who have technology available to them and everything. And you think the movement is child's play? You think caging one man will cage the movement? Why do we take serious things for granted? Why do we want to play joker with the lives of Nigerians, innocent citizens? Why are we bent as governors in the Southeast to violate their rights as people? Sending them out on Monday is a deliberate instruction that they walk into death. These people are not playing. They have proven times without number that if you come out on Monday, whatever you see, it's at your own peril. What arrangement security-wise has been made to stall these people? What discussions have been held? Where are the proofs that these discussions will yield results? You want to produce orphans, produce widows, but what mentality do these governors have? Why even threaten them with their job? When you can't secure their lives? It's high time we call a spade a spade. I think the immunities that these governors have is getting into their head. It is high time the National Assembly look at that clause. Maybe when they become common men and not immortals for the period they are in power, they will understand that life is important.
Life is important. Let's leave it there and go straight to other stories. Still on, because I hear you talk about the ICC, International Criminal Court, and then if people lost their lives. Yesterday we saw from the headlines that we saw with regards to hashtag EndSARS protest, says Lagos confirms mass burial for 103 victims, says that but they say that there is no victim from Lekki Tollgate. And then today you have mass burial. Amnesty International tackles Lagos state government to identify the victims of EndSARS. Now my question here is, I recall that we've talked about the EndSARS. You were major proponent of that. Then when all that happened, we've had these discussions time and time and again. But then, if you recall, they said that no one died. If no family has come to claim any corpse, so then why do you have to say anyone died? Then all of a sudden, how come you now have 103 people who will be buried with over 61 million naira? And then when it was calculated, one person will be buried for 500,000 or even more. So now you're asking, how come the families of these people don't even know that their person is going to be buried in this mass burial? And yet you see how we read that it was contracted to someone to conduct that mass burial. Let's get your thoughts on all of this.
I am happy that I am back here. I told you during that time that people died. I asked you, I remember clearly asking you, how wonderful the eyes of the minister that discovered the camera was, that nobody saw the camera. Only him with a spiritual eye saw the camera. I remember saying all of that. But it was seen as if we were just trying to paint what is not. I am happy that it is not a speculation, because I'm aware that there is a document to this effect from the state government. It's a justification that people died. It's a justification that 103 people on the 20th of October 2020 died. It is now a fact that 103 Nigerians or more, because I know that in news management and all, if it's 500 you say 100, were killed for coming out to ask for their right. It is today on record that the government of Lagos State was responsible for deceiving the entire globe about the murder of these innocent citizens. It has further been established the personality and the nature of who the man, His Excellency, no more excellent, Governor Sanwo-Olu, can be seen to be. It is unfortunate that the Nigerian state gives no recourse to the life of our citizens. It is unfortunate that the Lagos state government is in a haste to bury 103 people without identifying who these people are. It is unfortunate that they are not even thinking of considering that some of them may not even be citizens of Lagos State, and their families in the various states where they are will keep hoping that one day my son, my daughter will come back to me. It is unfortunate that as parents that they are, they have allowed the quest for power, for money to kill their conscience. But I have a word for Sanwo-Olu and his people. That gone are the days when they see that the evil that men do lives after them. This one will live with them. If those people they are burying were not given birth to by Nigerians, they will go scot-free. But if they were given birth to by Nigerians, as they give no recourse to the lives of these Nigerians, their own children, their lives will never be good. If they think any or every other family don't deserve joy, they will never see joy from their children.
Oh,
they have sown a seed, they will reap it.
So is it actually is Amnesty International are they right to ask them to disclose identities?
They are super right. How are you burying people that you don't know who they are? Who gave you that right? People that were murdered, you want to bury them without knowing who they are? For goodness sake, where are we heading to as a country? What kind of people do we have in government?
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Morning.
Turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you.
Yeah.
I think we might have to let you go. Turn down the volume of your TV set first. All right, let's hear you.
Hello.
All right, go ahead. We can hear you.
Hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello?
All right, so if you're going to call, kindly turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it so we can hear each other. Okay, I think that's all about NSAS protest. It's always emotional for a lot of people when you have to talk about that matter. All right, let's go straight to other stories. The former president Olusegun Obasanjo says how Nigerian leaders disappointed citizens, Africa, black race, and the world. What are your thoughts on this? Coming from the former president.
Well, I'm happy he said Nigerian leaders. So invariably he included himself. That is all I will say. If you say how Nigerian leaders disappointed, I am happy he has led this country twice. I will allow posterity to analyze his impact. No doubt, he did some positive things in his time, okay? We won't be celebrating. We used to grow up and know that phone used to be on the table. We are carrying phones in our pockets today, you know, and looking at ourselves as tech-savvy people because he took a bold step. Wonderful. But there were also other things he could have done. What happened to our power?
What happened to our power?
What happened to our refineries?
Let's take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Alaba. I'm calling from Sokoto.
All right, go ahead, please.
I just want to say good morning to everyone there at the studio. I'm presenting to our analyst. I love the passion and the spirit of which he's speaking. Sister Annabel, God bless you.
God bless you too.
This analyst is just saying my mind exactly. He's a young man full of prosperity. I pray God will bless you. You see,
Amen.
It baffles me when we are like this in this country. We don't like to call a spade, like this young man is saying. Those who are involved in the killing of these innocent citizens at the Lekki toll gate in 2020, October 20, it's so saddening that we still have this kind of persons at the ends of our fear. Where are we going as a nation? How can we have murderers in the places of authority and we want this country to be at peace? There is no way this thing can be done. What are we doing, for God's sake? Look at it. They said there's protests in
Benin.
State is that?
In Edo
Why would
State.
people not protest? The thing is choking people. Are they really in government to help the mass, or they have to help themselves? This thing is getting out of hand. And the court has delivered their judgment on the release of Kanu. Why are still they keeping him in the custody? What did he do that other people have not done? Have they been arrested? Why are we continuing like this as a nation? Do we know what we are doing in this country?
All right.
These are questions for all of us.
Thank you so much, Pastor. It's been a wonderful time hearing from you. All right, so let's wind down on what you said. You were talking about what happened to power, what happened to...
Yeah, I raised very crucial questions, right? His Excellency Governor Olusegun Obasanjo, he did some things for us as Nigeria. You can't take it from him. Telecom, the breakthrough in that area, courtesy of him. Of course, he established a lot of agencies that are today functional and of course giving results. You won't take it away. They may not be given the magnitude of results we want, but it doesn't change the fact that they are giving results. Okay, he went international to do a lot of negotiations for us, our debt and all of that and all of that. He did very well. He assembled a lot of talents. Okay, but what happened to the oil sector under him? What happened to our refineries? We know that our refineries finally went comatose under his government. We are aware that the Siemens deal on power that the current president just finished paying the debt was under him. What happened? So I am happy that he said Nigerian leaders, meaning that he has accepted to the fact that he is part of the leaders that also failed Nigerians in one way or the other. Our prayer.
He said feel disappointed citizens, they disappointed Africa,
Yes.
the black race, and even the world.
Yes. Yes. The world is disappointed in us because with everything we have as a nation, we should be thriving like the Arab Spring. What the Arab Spring have is the abundance of oil. Look at how they are thriving. And beyond oil, God has blessed us with other natural resources. Iron ore, tin, columbite, precious stones. Nothing. Nothing to show.
Let's take our next story from the Punch newspaper. Navy won't stop burning vessels ferrying stolen crude. And I'm sure this coming from the response where you have reactions trailing the fact that this stolen crude they were destroyed. So a lot of people say, why destroy them? Why there are evidences? Why destroy them?
Navy should stop destroying vessels. We want to know the owners of the vessels. They should seize the vessels and keep it. They should not destroy it. They have no legal right to destroy anybody's property.
Is that people's property?
Yes, the vessels are owned by people. Before the law, a company or an establishment is treated as a person. They don't have the right to burn those vessels. They didn't buy them for the people.
But they were used to ferry.
They were used for crime.
Crude.
So keep it for evidence. Fish out the owners of the vessels. Bring them to law. Bring the law to slash them. Don't do it on behalf of the law. Which part of the Navy Act gave them the power to destroy the vessels? Which part? Are we in a lawless state? Or are they trying to hide something? To be in a haste to burn the vessels, is that something we need to know about the haste for burning these vessels? These vessels are supposed to be hardcore evidence for goodness sake. You are a company operating on the Nigerian waters. Your vessels was caught with crude oil. Why burn them? Seize it. Go and keep it in your yard. Investigate and bring the company before the law, so that they can even pay us some money.
Aha. Okay. So let's take this call. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set and move away from it.
Hello, morning.
All right, tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm with you. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ondo State.
All right, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Okay. So the problem is that we have here about what you people are discussing about it. I like what you people are discussing about it, and it's the right way. I was born in 1981, and all those things has been happened for a long time ago, and all those things is not good. But it's our leader to continue keeping us into cage. It's not good. Why are they keeping us in the cage? Do you see ever white man to steal his money, country money, to come to Nigeria and go and establish? And it's not. So all those things, let this man tell them the truth. What he's saying is the right truth.
All right.
It's nothing else more than that. That's what my contribution about it.
Thank you so much for your contribution then. All right, let's take other stories. Or you'd like to end your thoughts in that regard?
Well, as I will say, the Navy should stop burning the ships if they have nothing to hide.
All right. So Daily Sun says tribunal INEC can't explain Tinubu's victory, and that's a claim coming from the presidential candidate of Labour Party. Says 2 million votes from 18,000 polling units unclear. What are your thoughts in this election tribunal? At the end of the day,
Well,
do you think that democracy will win?
I will say this. What the 2022 Electoral Act as amended has done for Nigeria is to have given the masses a clear picture that their votes can count. You won't take it away from the 9th Assembly. They have made the electoral process more transparent. Okay? and remove the ambiguity that normally comes with figures, you know, tied to votings from different places. They've removed that ambiguity. For me, it is a positive step in our democracy. You can't take that away. Well, for the number of votes not being accounted for, the issue is still before the court of law. No judgment has been given. And so I am going to be doing injustice to say anything directly as regards the votes, whether it can be accounted for or not. But this is what I will say about the tribunal. We hear rumors, filters, that people are being pressured, people are being tempted with offers and all of that so that they can subvert justice. Nigerians are watching and waiting to see what the judiciary will do. It is said that the judiciary is the hope of the common man. We, the common men, are watching and waiting to see what the judiciary will do. They will make themselves or mar themselves with this case. The choice is theirs, but I wish to remind them that they have homes, they have children, they have relatives, they have dependents who are suffering and will suffer more from whatever decisions they make. Former Minister of Power once says that it is his prayer that no one's loyalty be tested. Right now, their loyalty to the oath they swore as judges is being put to test. We'll wait to see whether they will justify this oath or not. The ball is in their court.
Did you come across the statement that was alleged to have been made by the president saying that anarchy is going to happen if they decide to nullify the elections with regards to 25% from the FCT?
Well, as I will say, sometimes things are quoted out of context. You know, once it moves from the first person to the second, the context may change. So I will not want to say that is what the president would have meant. I will want to see it from the point that maybe out of interpretation, he was quoted out of context. Because I want to believe that we are talking about Nigeria here, and we are talking about the law here. And so, for a man who swore and took his oath on the premise of this law, a man who this same law established his office as president of Nigeria, I don't think he will look down on the law. And that is why, in significance of what the law is, he swore to an oath using that same law of this country. So I don't think he will undermine the laws of Nigeria. However, I know that the FCT issue is one of so many issues that have been raised. Okay? So, as I will always say, we'll wait and see what the judgment will be and the premise upon which it will be based.
All right, so let's talk about the stories. Still on subsidy. It says from the Punch newspaper, says subsidy pain. Labour talks tough. ASU protesters condemn relief plans. SANU ASU say fuel subsidy unintelligently removed. NLC meets today. TUC rejects 5% telecom tax plan tuition hike. Asquara and Ogu roll out palliatives. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo right there. Would so like you to take them all together, because I recall you always saying that where is Labour when they are supposed to be coming out? So I guess they are coming out. Are they coming out at the wrong time?
I put it to you. We all collectively have watched organized labor from my days of seeing labor actively was from the days of Adams Oshomale. Labor, I'm sorry to say, labor have really not done the Nigerian masses well.
Are you saying since after Adams Oshomale?
I'm saying since me, I have known Labour. They will talk tough. And at the end of the day, what do we get? However, I believe in the leadership of the Labour currently because I have seen some, some biting capacity, which is what Labour should be. And I'm expecting that Labour will take her stand. But I also expect them to package the argument.
What does that even mean?
Yes. I don't agree when you say you do not agree to the palliative. I would rather prefer that you say the palliative agreed by the government for Nigerians will not be enough.
So are you agreeing to 8,000 naira per person?
Get me? I say it will not be enough. What is our minimum wage? That's the logic of argument I intend to see from Labour. What is our minimum wage? The minimum wage as it stands now in Nigeria is 30,000 naira, right? So what that implies is that if you want to do anything palliative, for the committee to have done all their calculations and review and concluded that the minimum requirement a Nigerian needs to survive in a month is 30,000 naira. It's a benchmark that whatever you want to do for Nigerians should not be below 30,000 naira.
And not 8,000.
Yes, a benchmark. The minimum wage have set the benchmark. So whatever you want to do in the area of palliative, cash-wise, should not be less than the benchmark.
But not everybody are under that minimum wage, though.
Sorry?
Not everyone is under the minimum wage.
Not everyone is under the implementation of the minimum wage. It doesn't mean everybody is not meant to benefit. I think the government of President Muhammadu Buhari said, is it from level 1 to 6 or thereabout? Okay? They are yet to do implementation for the higher cadres in the now, the common Nigerians we are talking about falls within this level 1 to 6. Okay? Because the bulk of them are peasants, with most of them not learned. And for those who are learned, they are not employed. Okay? Number 2, I expect that NLC will be asking government to provide the social register.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we continue. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Fashion, I think they're calling for a job.
Fashion, all right, go ahead.
I want to respond to the statement about you see they say that out of the abundance of the heart speaketh the mouth. So the statement about Mr. President that there will be anarchy if court upon him. That has been his body language, even the speech that he made on a democracy day. So what I want to say is that there will be the worst kind of anarchy if the judiciary refuses to do the needful. We are enjoying the peace of the graveyard at the moment, not because we are comfortable or we have accepted to move on or to endure the pain and they like to the kind of motivational quote they give us, but because we are waiting on the tribunal. You understand? So there will be the worst kind of anarchy that he may think of if the court refuses to upon him, because up till now he's still a minority president, and you know
All right.
very, very legitimate one at that matter.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. All right, just land on your thoughts so we can go ahead with all that.
Okay, so as I will say, ASU, wonderful. I'm happy ASU is speaking about the hike. But I wish and
from
desire,
19,000 to 100,000.
I wish actually and desire that they are speaking about it from a genuine standpoint.
Oh, what does that even mean?
Oh, yes. The vice chancellors, the deputy vice chancellors, and all of those people in the management team were once upon a time member of ASU. Okay, they were academic staff before the appointments came, and now they are non-academic. And some of them still lecture even as members of management. Are they actually being sincere about the drive? What has stopped the Federal Ministry of Education from bringing out a guide and pegging what federal institutions should take as tuition? What's stopping them? Oh, they are hiding under the clothes of autonomy and all of that. They are shouting that government is owing them. Government is not doing this. Government is not doing that. And they are putting pressure on students in school. Well, God bless their soul. Because we will begin to ask for schools to publish their IGRs.
Aha.
And so that we can also ask questions as to what these IGRs are used for. Oh, yes. Those who live in glass house shouldn't throw stones. I'm also waiting to see what NUC has to say about the hikes. National University Commission. We're waiting.
Most definitely. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your time with us, Comrade Obande. It's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
Thank you.